Hello my dear friends, welcome to Canadian Immigration Channel, and this video is just a short comment on our recent trip to India. I really appreciate all of you who are coming to us on personal consultation on our immigration event. I really appreciate media and YouTubers who participated and reported on it. I really appreciate newspapers who are posting news about this. That was a great successful event. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for writing me emails afterwards, for following me up in the hotel. That was stunning, amazing. And what I wanted to say here is that, well, essentially we heard your request for coming to other cities and towns. We heard you requesting us to come to Mumbai next time. Yep, it's on the schedule so far. I cannot disclose the date yet, not because I don't want to, because, well, there are other things to be taken into consideration, other meetings to be attended to, business issues, family, obviously. So it's not easy just to jump on a plane and fly for about like 15 hours to get to you guys, though I really want to. Now, probably somewhere close to the end of the year or beginning of next year, we will be coming to Mumbai. This is the rough estimate, maybe sooner, maybe later, but we will still come to you. It's kind of a promise from our side. Now, with respect to other media events which we had an interesting interviews on South Asian TV in Toronto, and in this video I will post like a few cuts of those interviews for those of you who were not able to see them live on TV. Stay tuned with us and of course subscribe for the channel.
The biggest South Asian media group, Y Media.
And I want to begin with Alex. Alex, you will be traveling to India very soon. Why are you going to India?
Well, let me just give you a very quick background of the whole story, right? A while ago, we started this Canadian Immigration Channel on YouTube where we were trying to educate people on how they can immigrate to Canada by themselves. Pretty much answer all those questions, concerns on how exactly it all works, right? The more we were working, the more sophisticated the channel became, the more people were coming to us with a request for fraud check, for validity, and for verification of documents. Most of these documents, most of this verification was coming from Southeast Asia and specifically from India. So sooner or later we decided that, you know what, we would love to go to India by ourselves to have this seminar live for people who are looking to immigrate to Canada by themselves, not necessarily to promote our services, but rather to teach them how they can do everything themselves, how they can benefit from various immigration programs. There are two sides of the story, right? That's fraud, and many of you know how it works, and many of your viewers know how it works, unfortunately. And the second side of the story is pretty much this ignorance, or rather lack of education on various immigration programs, where people are not aware of what's going on and how they can work with these programs. News are not delivered properly, requirements of programs are not delivered properly to them despite all the efforts of the Minister of Citizenship and Immigration. So we decided to come and answer those questions like face to face and build sort of a bridge, right, where we would be able to talk to them directly, answer their questions and address their concerns.
So I believe you have a Q&A session after that as well?
Yep. Well, essentially what we want to do with this seminar, as I said, it's like sort of building a bridge for me to talk to people openly and tell them how they can do everything themselves. If they want to use our services, mostly welcome, but that's not the major subject of the webinar. I want to make sure that we will deliver as much information as possible, and we will dedicate at least 45 minutes, hour, maybe even more to this Q&A section where I would try as much as I could, right, given the number of people coming in, to deliver this information, to answer their concerns, to help them out to understand how immigration works, right? It's not about, hey, come here, we will do magic. It's rather educating you so you would understand the underlying reason why immigration works this particular way, what is required from you, and how you can have this plan B, C, and D with respect to your immigration. What if it doesn't work? What if this study is not the best route for you? What if provincial immigration program is not working? How can you play around it and understand it yourself? Because I believe that the key, 90% of success for immigration, is your understanding what exactly is going on, who is doing what. And besides, guys, with all due respect, if you're working with somebody, don't forget that according to Canadian immigration legislation, it's your responsibility to be honest with all the documents and to be responsible for your application overall, regardless of what the agent is telling you.
Right. Also, one point that you brought to light was the agents in India are highlighting a lot on the education route, that you get a degree from a Toronto university and thereon you get a job and probably apply for a PR. But for someone who is way past that age, who's not a student anymore, who is maybe in his late 20s or early 30s, is that your target group?
I would probably say yes, because these are people who are relatively established in their home country, so they got years of skilled work experience. They pretty much got a decent education if they reach that point, right? They already have established families or are looking to establish their families, but at the same time, they're seeking to they still got, if you will, enough time to continue their life in the new country. So they still got this understanding that if I dedicate a couple of years of my time to immigrate and successfully settle in Canada, because immigration might happen as fast as like 6-7 months with a decent preparation, but don't forget that it's not the end of the story, right? We all know it. You have to settle in Canada. You have to catch up with your level of work, with your level of social status, if you will, right? So we want to make sure that these people understand exactly how it works. They still got enough strength to relocate to the new country, and they know what exactly they're doing. As I said, plan B, C, and D, that's probably how it works, right? Sometimes I'm comparing, say, fishing with a rod versus fishing with a net, right? If you're trying to catch a fish, you want to maximize your chances. That's exactly how it's supposed to work. It's not just one program, but the way to build your strategy of immigration, how exactly I will be doing and what will happen if it doesn't work. The first, second, third, and fourth program doesn't work for me. What will be my backup plan?
So coming to you, Alex, I would want to know about the spouse visa.
Right.
Now, if say I am the primary applicant,
correct,
and bringing in my spouse, what is the procedure?
Well, by definition, it works 1+1, right? Okay. So for every single immigration program, you could bring your significant one and kids as dependents together with you, right? If you got a spouse and if you want to make sure that the spouse goes with you, it's up to you to decide, of course, right? So you're the decision maker, but if you're feeling it right, if you believe that, hey, by the way, he's not that bad, I'm bringing him in, mostly welcome to do this, right? You are allowed to include the spouse into your application. All you would have to do is to pay the fees. Now, when it comes to the spouse, of course, it's not that he or she is taking a strategic position on the couch and waits for the immigration to happen. The person is welcome to contribute by taking the language test, by making sure that educational credentials are assessed, if there's anything to assess, right? So they would have to take an active role if possible. It's not mandatory, but if possible, they're mostly welcome. What I'm trying to say most of the time, if you're looking to apply for immigration, so we're not at the stage when we're selected and welcomed, right? We're not submitting documents yet, we're pretty much mutilating our chances. It's always a good idea to either have two profiles, so making sure that your spouse is contributing as well. Most likely he or she, whatever, depends on our viewers, right, is an educated person, has different work experience, different from yours, right? And you are legally allowed to create two express entry profiles. If you believe that you're not getting enough points, if you believe that you are not scoring enough right now, you're hunting for a provincial nomination. Say your spouse is an IT professional, it probably could apply for Saskatchewan provincial nominee program. You are an early childhood educator, you could be selected by Nova Scotia. So again, it's like fishing with a net, maximizing your chances, increasing your chances to be selected. That's what you're trying to do. But when it comes down to the point where one of you is selected, obviously the second application has to be canceled, and now you're applying together. One is the primary applicant, the other one is dependent, and we're going together on this journey. Right, so you're submitting the documents. Again, for those freaking out, my friends, you're not mandatory obliged for your spouse. Your wife is not mandatory obliged to take IELTS test. Your husband does not have to do it necessarily. If they're watching us right now saying, psst, 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 you have to do it. No, not necessarily. You have to do it, but you're mostly welcome to contribute.
All right, so that's a good point and a very good information. Thanks for watching this very special edition on Channel Y. Stay tuned with Channel Y for all the latest news and updates.